Have you ever felt like your money develop wings and fly off? Have you ever felt like it's so hard for me to save just because I do not know where my money is going, right? I want to tell you, you're not alone. A lot of us believe that the money we have just develop wings on a monthly basis and disappear. So today I'm going to be talking about money map is equal to financial literacy. So how do you make your money not to develop wings and fly off? That is what we're going to be discussing today. So welcome to my channel. And a lot of us, we just think, how did I really spend the 10,000 I earned last month? You can't account for it. Did they develop wings? Did they fly off? Did someone actually dupe me of my hard-earned money? The truth is, no one duped you, and your money did not develop wings. Should I tell you the truth? You have not accounted for the money properly. That is why it has developed wings. So, how do money develop wings? Number one, when you do not have a strong budget. You do not know what your expenses are compared to the income you get on a monthly basis. Definitely your money will develop wings, because when you go to the store and you swap your card, the money is flying off that card. Just on the lighter note though. But the truth is, if you do not budget, definitely your money will develop wings. So if you want to learn how to budget, why you feel budgeting might feel so boring and so tedious for you, you can watch one of my videos on why budgeting is boring and tedious and the reasons, and I gave you steps in which you can actually budget and your budgets will become so friendly, right? Another reason why your money develop wings is you do not understand debts. Like, you just believe there's no cash flow. All on the monthly basis, your source of income comes from just one source. And let's assume, okay, this is a major source of income and your expenses are like this, like one source of income, your expenses are 5-way. Definitely the money will develop wings to fly away. So that's another reason. So if you want your money not to develop wings and fly away, number one, you need to either get multiple sources of income, which is very easy to do, or make sure the one source of income you're getting, it's enough for it to cover all the expenses that comes your way. Another way that your money fly away, that your money develop wings and fly away, I know you're not going to ever believe this, it's inflation. Inflation. Imagine that the $1 you had last month is not the same $1 you have today because of inflation. Definitely, if you had $1 last month and there's an inflation increase in inflation, and as of today you're holding the $1, but the value of that $1 is 90 cents. 10 cents has flew away. Do you understand? So inflation will make your money fly away as well. Now, so what do you do? Like, how do you now know that, okay, now I understand I need to do my budgeting. Now I understand inflation can actually make my money fly away. And now I understand that if I don't, debt as well can make my money fly away. What do I do so that my money don't fly away? So now, number one is, like I said, budgets. I can't emphasize the fact that you need to budget, and budget cannot be tedious. It's not meant to be tedious. There are easy ways for you to budget. You don't need to start budgeting the $2 you spend on a coffee. You don't need to start budgeting the $4 you spend on your coffee. If you watch my video, you'll be able to see the breakdown, the steps I gave you in how to budget. I don't want to go into that video in this one. Number two is debt. How do you manage your debt? Your debt, right? Like, if you have a lot of debt on you, this debt, they do what? they accumulate interest. And interest is what you pay on the amount you owe, right? So let's assume you're owing $10,000 and the interest you're paying on that $10,000 on a monthly basis is $100 or $200. Let's say $200. That means on a monthly basis, you have to squeeze out $200, $200 from your income to pay interest on the debts you're owing, right? So what it means is, if on a monthly basis already your $10,000 is not even enough to cater for you, that's the income you make, it's not even enough to cater for you. For this month that you're supposed to pay $200 extra on income, on interest, you have to look for $200. So the $200 you were supposed to use for something else, you will use it to do what? To pay the interest. Now, do not get me wrong. There are good debts and there are bad debts. What I'm talking about here is bad debts. What do I mean by bad debts? Bad debts are debt that you owe that do not bring in cash flow, right? Debt that you owe that do not bring in cash flow. There are a lot of debt that you might consider good, but they're actually bad debt. Like you have a car that you drive on your personal. I know in this part of the world, it's not easy for you to put down cash to buy cars, right? But I'm just saying, but this car doesn't bring in income for you. If it doesn't bring in income for you, it looks like an asset, but actually is a liability, right? Because it doesn't bring in any income for you. You just pack it, right? Or maybe when you want to go out, you take it. So those are the kind of debt I'm talking about. I'm not talking about debt that you take, you invest, and it brings out income, as in gives cash flow back to you. Those are good debts. And we're not going to be discussing that today. I'm going to do a video on bad debt and good debts one of these days. So now, those debts, because you have those debts, which I categorize as bad debt, you begin to see that a portion of it becomes an interest. Interest has to come from your income to pay on what you have borrowed. So how do you avoid this? The best way is for you to pay down your debt, right? Especially if it's a bad debt. Pay it down so that you know that, okay, the $200 extra that I pay on this debt on a monthly basis, I do not need to pay it. That means I can channel that $200 into something else, to do something else, right? And there are a lot of ways in which you can pay down your debt. I'm going to just discuss about two methods. I'm not going to do it in the full video now, but you can use either a snowball method where you pay off the lowest debts, right? Your lowest debt. If you have like 3 debts and you have one is $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, you pay the $2,000 down first, and you roll over the amount you're paying in the $2,000. You roll it over to the $5,000 and thereabout until you completely pay off your debt. Or you can decide to pay off the one with the highest interest first. So those are the two methods in which you can use to pay off your debt. So try as much as possible to pay off this debt if you have huge debt on you, because that is why your money is developing wings and flying off. Now let's talk about inflation. Remember I said that the $1 you had last month, last week, is not the same as the $1 you have today because of time value for money, right? Because of inflation. That is why your $1 for last week is not the same as the $1 you have today. So what do you do? How can you make sure your $1 for last week is the same thing, at least equal to the $1 you have for today, the $1 you have today? Number one is what you can do is invest. And when I say invest, I do not mean save. So there's a difference between save and investing. Save means I keep the money in an account. It is safe, just like the word save. Like anytime I go to the account, I open it, I see my $1,000. I'm so glad, right? But what I mean is invest it. And when you're investing it, make sure at least you're getting back your interest, the ROI, which is your return on investment, is equal to the inflation rate. That is what will make your $1 for yesterday the same thing as $1 today. So let's assume $1 inflation rate is 2.9, right? So make sure at least the interest you're getting back after all expenses on that interest, you know you're going to be taxed, right? After your taxes on your interest is at least that 2.9, so that your $1 for yesterday is the same thing as your $1 for today. So that is one of the reasons in which you can use it. So how does it work? How does it work, right? So when you do budgeting, you've been able to bring to your mindset to say, oh, with this, I can only spend $10,000 from my income. And once you have that as a mindset, it sends a message to your brain. And once you're in the store or you're somewhere, you want to spend, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, how much do I have left to spend this month? That is because you've been able to budget it, and the money will begin to answer for you. Like it begins to say, okay, I'm supposed to go on a fixed deposit, I'm supposed to go on a fixed expense, I'm supposed to go on cash expense. So this is the way in which it's going to work for you if you use the budgeting method. Now, what about the time value for money? I've explained that as well. That at least make sure the interest you're getting back, the return on your investment, is what? It's at least equal to the inflation rate. Then there's a power of financial discipline as well. Like, it's not everything you buy. It's not everything you buy. Like, I'm not saying don't spend money. I like to spend. That's the simple truth. I like to spend money. But I'm saying that when you become financially disciplined, you begin to say that, okay, is this a want? Is this a need? Right? You begin to classify it. To say, like, don't do impulse buying. Okay, let me use that word. Don't do impulse buying. Like, oh, I see this. It's so flashy. I need to buy it. If you can just give yourself maybe like 1 hour, 2 hours to say, okay, let me really think about it. Do I really need it? Do I really need it? And if you can do that, you will discover that a lot of things that we buy, we don't really need it. We don't. Like, I can just go to the store and say, oh, this lovely sweater is so lovely. But if I tell myself, okay, yeah, I can always get it tomorrow, right? Let me just think about it. And I get back home, I open my wardrobe, I'll see there are a lot of sweaters there that I've not even worn in the last 2 to 3 months. So the question is, do I really need it? By the time you begin to do that power of financial discipline, you begin to discover that your money is no longer developing wings, right? Because you've now been able to caution yourself to say, it is not everything I buy. There are times that I just want to buy this. I just have to, right? But because you're financially disciplined, you'll be conscious to say, okay, now I've done it. It becomes a need to you, because at that point you might just want to satisfy yourself and say, oh my God, I've worked 12 months this year. I just need to go on a vacation. But at the same time, you need to be able to say, okay, can I really afford this? And why will it work? Let's discuss it. Why do you think it would work? Like, if you do your budgeting and you now know that, okay, I have $10,000 to myself to spend this month. That means I can do anything with my $10,000, because I know that it's not in my fixed expense. It's not coming from my fixed expense. It's not coming from my savings. It's not coming from my investment. It's not coming from my utility bills, right? It is my cash. It is what I have free to spend for myself. And you begin to have the joy when you even want to spend. You're not squeezing your face at the cashier to say, you mean you picked it at the store, you saw the price tag. But when you get there, you're like, you mean I already spent like $500? My God, that's not the cashier's fault. It's not the cashier's fault. It's not the cashier that said you shouldn't have a proper budget for yourself, right? So you begin to have the joy of even spending the money. And when you have an investment, like even if it's your savings account, but at least it's giving you a return that is commensurate to the inflation rates, you understand that, okay, this money I have is not losing value. It is not losing value. and that gives you the encouragement to want to put more into it, to want to keep more money. Because a lot of people say, okay, why do I even need to keep more money? Because of inflation. Because I know the $2 I have today, it's not the $2, it will not be $2 tomorrow. It's not going to be $2 in 3 days' time. So why do I need to keep the money? But because you now know the fact that, okay, the interest I'm getting on this is at least commensurate, at least equal to, that is why I said at least. Don't let it be below, at least equal to what, at least equal to what I am getting back from the market. Like my $1 today is still going to be $1 next year because of the inflation. The interest rate I'm getting back is equal to what the inflation rate is in the market, right? And you begin to build your wealth. You begin to build your wealth, and you begin to become financially disciplined. And you now discover that your money is not actually what? Developing wings. Because you now have a financial map, right? You now have a money map. You know what the map does? What does the map do for you? Like it tells you, okay, this is a country. This is where the state is. 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 That is what a map does for you. And it's the same thing with you having a money map. It tells you, okay, at the end of the month, I know 20% of my income goes to my savings. I put it there. I can see it there. 10% of my income goes into my investment. I can see it there. 10% of my income goes into my fixed deposits. I now have a map, holistic map of where my money actually goes to. So when you tell me, oh, you earned $20,000 last month, where did you spend your money to? I can bring you my financial map to say, okay, this is what I did with 10%, this is what I did with 20%, this is what I did with 30%, and you begin to become financially literate. I keep saying on all my videos, no one is coming to help you to become financially free. If you do not determine in your mind, if you do not have a mindset to say, I want to be financially free and I need to start now, like it's not once like, okay, I want to be financially free and you do not do anything. No, like I need to be financially free and I need to start now. And when I say start now, your start now begins with you having a money map to say, this is what my money map looks like. This is what my money map looks like. Okay, the $10 I'm earning today and I'm putting 20% into my savings or my investment account. What returns am I getting on it? I need to become financially disciplined in anything I'm spending my money on, right? By the time you begin to do all this, you will discover that your money will become like, it's no longer going to be vulnerable to poor decisions. You wouldn't have bought that thing at the store and you get home and you say, oh, why did I even buy this? Do I really need it? Because you're financially disciplined. And you won't have any bad investment. Because you know what? You're monitoring your investment. That is why you will not have bad investment. Because you're saying, okay, the inflation rate this month is now 5%. Okay, what's my investment doing? Right? You begin to put your financial advisors on their toes to say, okay, my investment now is this. What returns am I getting on my investment? You begin to look at the market to say, okay, what is happening in the market? What can I do with my investment? And you know what? You also there's no more endless spending, because you have to think and give yourself time to say, okay, do I really need this? And if your answer is yes, then the next thing is, can I afford it? Can I afford it without going into bad debt? Right? Can I afford it without going into bad debt? If your answer is yes, why not? Why not? After all, we're all here to live once, and the more you live and become happy with yourself, the more longer I want to believe you live. And you'll be able to build a financial future where your money works for you. You understand? Like I keep saying, money, there's tendency for your money to work for you in a way that you can never imagine. Yeah. In a way that you can ever imagine. Instead of your money just developing wings and flying off, you will now discover that your money would what? Always work for you. Like you now know, you've been able to plan where is this money going to? What am I getting in return for this money that I've put in this investment? What's the time value for my money? What am I really buying? Do I really need it? Or is this just a want? Right? With the financial map, you will discover that it's easy. It's easy for you to know where all your money is going. So I want to encourage you today. If you do not have a financial map before now, right? I want you to create a financial map for yourself, because it's just as if you're going somewhere and you do not know the way to that place. What do? You use Google Map, and Google tells you turn right, turn left, at east, turn right, turn left. It's the same way as a financial map, right? It tells you, oh, you have this, you have the ability to spend this on yourself this month. You have the ability, you've been able to earn this as a return on your investment, and you begin to take control of your life, of your financial life. Let me put it that way. And I want you, if you've not had one, please create one today. Create one today. You can leave it in the comments if you're going to be creating one. If you're going to be creating one, and if you want a one-on-one coaching, that is what I'm here for, right? I can help you develop your financial map. I'm not going to be the one to develop it. We'll just sit on a call to say, okay, this is how you do it, and this is what you need to do. It is a financial map, money map. Where is your money going to? Your money are not developing wings. I can tell you with 100% certainty that your money does not develop wings on a monthly basis. It's just because you've not been able to have your money map. That is why you feel that your money develop wings on a monthly basis. So if you're going to be doing this, I would like you to put it in the comment to say, okay, I am going to be doing this. And if you can also, if you've been doing it, you can just put it in the comment to say, okay, I have been doing this and this is the result, just to encourage others, for them to know that this actually works. Yeah. So till I come your way the next time, I want you to remain blessed and take your finances into your own hands. No one is coming to save you if you do not save yourself. God bless you. Thank you.